if you're shopping, keep shopping. If you're sitting, thank you. I'd like to start out by saying we have a few technical difficulties, so this will be an auditory meeting. The projector's not working, which we had planned to project. We're trying to go paper-free. So we had the agenda for you, the treasurer's report, and everything else, and the pictures from today's ceremony that we were going to project. The Delft ceremony. So instead, we're going to use our imaginative storytelling, and hopefully that'll be okay with you. But everyone who is a member got Anton's email previously, right, with all that information. And then the pictures from today, I will post to the website. So, okay, great. Okay, so thank you for coming out. I call this meeting to order. Can I get a motion to approve the November PTA minutes?
I move to approve.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor of passing the minutes, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Great, those are approved. I'm going to jump right into the treasurer's report. I do have a copy that I can pass around.
And I have another copy.
And she has another copy that we can pass around, perhaps at these two tables. So I'll go over it and then I'll circulate the report for you. So what we have spent money on last month. There was $9.95 for the bank. There were Eurostore supplies. So as you know, for the Eurostore, that's for kindergarten through 5th grade. They get their euros for positive behavior rewards, and then they go on a weekly rotating basis to the Eurostore. So that's a regular expense that needs to be incurred and paid out. Otherwise, the other thing, nope, that's it, just Eurostore. Sorry. As far as income, we net $508.48 from the middle school dance. So after that's, after we paid for the DJ, the food, security, etc., that's what we came away with. We also, what's not in the report and what will show up on the December report is from our Franklin's restaurant night. Thank you for everyone who came out to that. We received $440.25. So that was awesome, and that was from everyone who dined in the restaurant or who got food to go or who shopped at their general store. So we were really excited about that. We've also been taking in donations from all of the volunteer gift wrapping that we've been doing at Barnes & Noble. We've collected several $100s just from our tips jar so far, and we still have more nights to go. So when you see us again in January, we'll have the total of that combined with what we made from that book fair. But that book fair is still going on online, and so I sent that information out, the link for that, and you have until the 15th, and all that still goes toward the total. Generally, we are still holding funds for the general music department. They have $589.87 that they can use throughout the year for things that the music department needs that's not currently provided by the schools. So whether it's special sheet music or equipment that they can get from that. We are also holding funds for the 8th grade, 7th grade, and 6th grade classes for things that they choose to do, maybe end of year celebrations, things like that. So are there any questions about money that came in or money that came out? I'm sorry, my report is not quite as proficient as Celia's, but I have this paper that I will pass around that gives the full detail. Scott, if you don't mind, if you'd like to see it, and you can circulate it among the parents. Okay. Upcoming fundraisers. We have a couple in January. We have our movie night, which is a fun event, but we also make some money from it. And then Eleanor, who's over here taking video, she does a really awesome job of securing different fundraisers for us. And she negotiated with Herbert Wells Ice Rink. So we will have a skate day toward the end of January, and that works where they give us tickets that we can sell in advance, and we get a percentage of what we sell in those tickets, and we can also sell concessions the day of, where we provide the food, we man the concession stand, and we get to keep all of the profits that we get from selling the concessions. So you'll get more information about that as we kind of get through the holiday season. So those are two things coming up.
And I wanted to point out two things. The we is all of PTA, so volunteer when you can. There are still a lot of slots, I think, for the gift wrapping, correct? Still a lot of slots for gift wrapping, so if you have time to make it to Barnes & Noble for one of those, Halima has sent out the signup.com email information so you can see what slots are still available.
Thank you. Thank you. Any questions about that?
I have a question.
Yes.
Bingo nights, did they go away? I mean, is that, we only have one, is that the only one we have?
No, that's not the only one. We generally do about 3 bingo nights in the year. So we did that one, and then we'll do another one kind of after the first semester ends, and then we'll do another one close to the end of the school year.
Okay. Just
So kind of beginning, middle, and end.
my kids were asking.
Yeah. So I want to say in about a couple of months, you'll see the sign up for the next bingo night, which my kids love attending bingo. They talk about it all year long, and it's a production, but it's a lot of fun. It's so much fun, and it's also a good fundraiser for us as well. So yes, 2 more bingo nights.
Okay.
All right. Updates. Let's see. Jennifer is back there doing sales. Hi. Would you like to go now, or do you want to go after the next thing? Okay. So I really want to introduce to you, and I'm so excited. This is Jennifer Fulton, who's making her way up. She is the owner of the Bonjour Mama bookstore. It's located in Kensington, Maryland. She works with a lot of other French immersion schools. She's a French immersion mom as well in Montgomery County, and she also sells items through her online store on her webpage. So I'm really excited for you to meet her. Thank you for shopping the bookstore. And I want to give her just a minute to talk about her, and she also has a special something for DKFI families.
Yes, hi everybody. Thank you so much for having me. This is completely impromptu. I never speak in front of groups, but anyway, I just wanted to say thank you for having me here. I've heard about Dora Kennedy for a while, and I've been so busy that I haven't really had a chance to reach out, and I feel terrible that you guys had to come to me. So, but I'm just, I'm so thrilled to be here, and I just kind of started a few years ago with my own son. I was trying to raise him to be bilingual, and I discovered that I didn't know whether or not we were going to get a spot in an immersion program, and so I didn't want to count on that. So I made sure that I had a lot of resources, and then I discovered there's a lot of other people in my situation, and so it just kept growing and growing from there. So I just, I work with a lot of families, and a lot of schools. If anybody has any particular, books or needs, I'm always, willing to do special orders or kind of work with you to find the right book for your child. But you're in very good hands with Halima here, who's a very unique background as a teacher and a mom, and pretty much an expert in all things French. So I don't know. Thank you for having me, basically. And then so basically, we're doing a fundraiser tonight. Obviously, I'm going to give a percentage of the sales from all of your generous purchases. We're going to go back to the school, and on a regular basis, what we can do is, I know it's a little bit of a hike for you guys to come out to Kensington. So we have, if you purchase online from BojaMama.com, I'm going to set up a code. We said it's going to be
DKFI PTA.
DKFI PTA. We'll send something out to everybody, confirming, and I'll be able to give a percentage of 5% of any sales on BojaMama.com will go back to the school. So we'll get that going as soon as we possibly can. And hopefully we'll do another one of these, from time to time. But is there anything else you
No, thank you so much for coming out.
Thank you.
So, like I said, after the code is set and its final version of what it is, then I'll email that out to everybody. And so if you're looking for anything in particular, I know that it can be really hard even to find French books on Amazon, which I go to all the time, Barnes & Noble. She's got lots of stuff. And so, like I said, there'll be that code that you can enter in at checkout, and then we'll receive a donation from the purchases there. Okay. Any questions about that so far? All right. Next, I would like to introduce Monsieur Wono, whom you all know well so far. I really want to thank you for coming to our PTA meeting tonight. We had a really exciting day today at the French Embassy, and there are lots of happenings that have been going on at the school. So I turn the floor over to Monsieur Wono to share those things with you.
Ouais, bonsoir à tout le monde.
Bonsoir.
Hey. So thank you for having me here tonight. Today was a very exciting day. We actually went to France today. We went to France. We went to the French embassy. Why did we go there? I don't know if I shared this at the last meeting. Was it at the last meeting or I just shared with you? So our school got a recognition from the French government. Our school and Maya Angelou French Immersion in the South are the first school in the state of Maryland to receive the label of that they call Label France Education. That's a label that's given by the French Ministry of Ministère des Affaires étrangères et Développement International. So it's Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of France. To schools that promote bilingual education, that promote the study of the French language. So in the US, there are about, in the 20-something schools. And the first two in Maryland are Dora French Immersion and Maya Angelou French Immersion. So it was a big event. All our 5th graders were there. We had some students in grade 3 that were there, also because they also were recognized because they took an exam called the DELF. DELF is an exam that people who are not French speakers, native French speakers, have to take to give them the level of proficiency of the language when they want to work in the French, in France, for example. So DELF has more than 4 different types of exams, but 4 of them are being used here in Prince George's County. There's A1, A2, those are for elementary school. Then as you go up, you have B1 and B2. So we had some students from Central High School, some former students of our school who had the recognition for their B2 and B1. And then our school had all the 5th graders, or nearly all of them, got the DELF for A1 and A2. So that's really great, really great. So recognition from the French government, and we also have someone from the Department of, from the Maryland State Department of Education, who announced to everybody that the state of Maryland is going to give a bilingual
Seal of biliteracy.
the seal of biliteracy on the high school diplomas. So she said that probably our students are going to be the first ones to receive it. So that's something that we look forward to. Now, speaking another language is really great. It opens a lot of doors. I'm just singing to the choir. You must already know it. So that's really great for our kids. I thank the students because they do a great job. I thank the teachers for helping our students achieve. So, and I thank you, the parents, for all the support and for working with the kids, sometimes in tears when they start in kindergarten, but as time goes on, things improve. So that's really great. Inside here, things are going well. We have some little bumps along the way. Unfortunately, we are short another teacher now, beginning last week. we are hoping that the situation is going to resolve itself soon. That's what's happening. Behavior. So I have a wish. I know this is the season of wishes. So I have a wish. The wish is that this is the period when students are going to receive a lot of presents, right? They were good all year long, so they are going to receive a lot of presents. Some of them are going to be toys. Could you please remind Johnny and Jane to keep the toys home, not to bring them to school? That's going to help us a lot. We spend a great deal amount of time dealing with students who are trading Legos, trading Pokemon cards, and they have problems among them. 1 minute you see them here, you think they are playing, and becomes a problem, you have to go solve it. So if you can advise them to keep the toys home, they are safe at home. They are really safe at home. When they come here, sometimes I like that other toy better than mine. I may be tempted to take it and play with it, you know. So if you keep them at home, that would be great. We also had a little issue, I think it's going down now. After Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving, Halloween, we got a lot of candy in this building. And there is still a lot of candy coming from home. It's good, but it's also bad because we have students with food allergies, so you don't know that piece of candy, what it contains, and it's appealing to eat. You may have peanuts, and I'm allergic to peanuts, so please talk to your children so that they can eat their candy at home, they can play with their toys at home, and then that would be great. But the most important thing that we have is trying to work with students to respect what belongs to them, to the whole school. We've noticed that some of them have artistic skills, so they tend to draw everywhere, even on the walls, and they tend to destroy certain things left and right. So talk to the kids so that they know if it's destroyed, they are losing out. It's for them, so they have to be able to respect that. Very important. Recently, there has been, I don't know if it's artistic skills or type of play, but it's troubling. The bathrooms. The situation with the bathrooms is that adults cannot go into the kids' bathroom. So I cannot go into the kids' bathroom to go find out what's happening, unless there is a problem and I need to have someone else with me. Teachers cannot just go and intervene in there. So it becomes a zone that's really a little bit troubling. Recently, students have been missing the target a lot, both for 1 and 2. So it's been, and then they will get whatever is there and use it as paint with their bare hands. So talk to your child, make sure that they don't participate, and if they see, they can tell us so that we can take action as soon as possible. We don't want anybody to get sick. It's really it's a little troubling. Sometimes we find out that something is wrong. I'm walking on the hallway past the bathroom, and it's not supposed to smell like this. Maybe something is going on. So until we find out that something is going on, lots of things have happened already. So talk to your children, make sure that they know where to go whenever they need to. And if they see something that is not good, that they report it as soon as possible. So the rest is great. Kids are great. We are enjoying having them, and thank you very much. Questions? Yes.
They clean the bathrooms every night?
Yes, not only every night. with the new situation, they clean them a lot.
But during the day, nobody goes there to check.
Unless there is a problem or we smell something, they go clean it. Now, cleaning the bathroom is tricky because if they go clean the floor, that floor takes a very long time for it to dry. A very long time. And it becomes a safety issue for the kids. So our goal is that there will be no need to clean it during the day so that the kids are safe. Yes?
Quick question. How for the fifth grade classes, like a couple of weeks ago, a lot of kids got sick. I don't know if it was a stomach bug, and like 5 or 6 kids in my son's class were all out. And then when they came back to school, we were just parents talking like, and we found out like 4 or 5 in the other class. We were all just trying to figure out like, is it, you know, what was going on. So I don't know if it's even been connected or if anyone's mentioned it at school, because I called Nurse Tommy just to see if she had heard anything. And she said, well, if kids are sick and they stay home, she would know unless they kind of came to the nurse's office and then left. Like my son did, because they could do that. He got home, he was vomiting, diarrhea, everything. And I was just wondering if you had heard anything about, like, or if the rooms have been cleaned or disinfected, just because this is the second bout that my son got. The 24-hour like stomach bugs. I just was wondering if anyone has probably even taken time to connect the dots and see like if spray the rooms down, because like maybe 2 weeks ago, 15 of them were out.
So the person who will connect the dots is going to be Nurse Tommy.
Yeah, I know.
So and
So I'm
she'll
just
be the
kidding.
one to let me know that there is a problem somewhere so that we can, but I haven't yet heard anything.
Yeah, okay,
So-
yeah, I didn't know if you did, because like I said,
No.
I did reach out to Nurse Tommy, and she was saying that she hadn't heard anything yet, but if the kids aren't, you know, they just stay home, she would know.
Mhm.
But since I was coming tonight, I figured I'd just say something just to see
Okay.
if
Well-
anybody else had, you know, kids were kind of sick, or maybe we could have something just to be safe.
What's the homeroom?
Is there a number?
No. Is it fifth
fifth
grade?
grade.
Kometa, Kundul, or Mupuri?
Oh, Mr. McCoy.
Mupuri. Okay. Okay.
2 weeks ago, my daughter had a 24-hour, she couldn't keep anything on her
Anything,
stomach.
yep, that's what he had.
It just came out of the blue,
Yeah.
and it was over in a day.
Next day, yep. And then it happened twice. So it was 2 weeks ago, and before that. That my son had it twice, and then the second time, it was like I said, 5 or 6 kids home, talking on the phone, like, what are you doing at school? And they were home.
Mhm.
And so the parents and I, we started getting a text, like, come to find out the same night, like, about my son started going at 3 a.m., another one of his friends at 12 at midnight, and 2 o'clock. I mean, we literally slept on the phone, and we were all up that night and didn't know it until the kids were home.
It's in their class too then,
So,
What class is that?
you know. Yep. Which, this is first grade, this happened about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
I'm guessing, because like, well, my son is also in 5th grade and didn't get sick, I'm guessing it's just things start going around school.
yes, they probably, I just wanted to see
So
whoever's.
if you start having those conversations among yourself and things are happening, let us know so that we can see what we can do from our side. So, yes.
So they should let Nurse Tommy know?
Yes.
I'll call her again, and I'll let her know that.
So you let her know, you tell her the number of people who have been impacted, and then maybe that can lead into some action from our side if you need to clean something.
Down or something like that.
Yes. So.
Like I said, when I did call her, she said that there was not much she could do unless other parents had called and said that their kid had it too. She's like, if no one was coming to the office, I was like, well, they're home.
Ah.
And they got it after school, and then that next day they were out. My son tried to come the Friday, and he couldn't make it through the day, like halfway, like after lunch. He called and was like, he can't keep anything down. So that's kind of how I kind of interacted with her son.
Wow.
Thursday, we just kept calling. I'll just track it off.
Okay. All right. Any questions, reactions? Yes.
The exam you talked about where people went to the French embassy, is that an automatic exam that everyone takes? The DELC or DELC?
Yes, we want everybody to take it. No.
Okay.
All our students are taking French, so this is an opportunity for them. So they should take it. I think there is a fee to it. It's about $10. $15.
And they take it again in which grades? Fourth
Uh,
and eighth?
Fourth, and they are going to have it. I think they are going to have it now in middle. They are going to have it in 8th grade. Yes. Prepare to go to Central. Yes.
But did you say there were 2 levels for elementary school?
There's A1, then there is A2.
And the levels are their achievement levels, so they
Okay.
take the test and if they pass it, they can either pass at the A1 level or the A2 level.
But the first time they give it is in 4th grade, is what you're saying?
4th grade. But we had some 3rd grade students with us. So let me get more information on that for you, and then we will
Okay.
share that.
Do you notify, like, when the kids do take it, do you send a note home to the
Yes.
parents to?
Yes,
Okay,
we get,
It's a big deal in 4th grade.
yeah.
So
Oh.
if your
We
kid,
gotta
once
let
your kid's in
them know.
4th grade, you'll know about it.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and have we
have to
received their
sign it.
actual grades? I can't remember if I've received the
Yes,
actual
yes.
score.
if you look at the certificate that they received today, on the back is the transcript.
Okay,
Yes,
hopefully my
so-
son didn't lose it, I forgot.
On the back you have the transcript, yes. And they come from France, actually. They come from the Ministry of Education in France. So don't lose it, because if you lose it, we cannot make it. So if you want to frame it nice, first make a nice color copy, then frame that and keep the original somewhere safe. All right? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And happy holiday season. So I'm sorry, I'm going to go see, we are playing against Montessori. So
Oh, that's good.
the student told me if I'm not there, I'm in trouble. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you. So we're gonna go ahead and just keep this rolling, and maybe if there's time left, you can peek in on the game. So as far as some of the things that I want to talk about is a little bit of what the PTA does behind the scenes. So I know that you see the emails, and there's the website and things like that, but as a board, we try really hard to make sure that we're regularly communicating with different members of the school, checking in with the teachers, trying to get a feel for what their climate feels like, what does it feel like being in the front office, regularly talking to Monsieur Awono and Madame Auguste, who are incredibly welcoming of working with the PTA, which is something that I appreciate. So I get a lot of emails regularly about, can you find out this, do you know about that? And those are things that I said, well, let me find out. Let me go to the school and find out how this works and that works. And so a lot of that helps drive, you know, some of the things that we choose to do as activities or ways that we try and support the teachers. Or if you see the sign-up lists that come out that say, oh, let's help Nurse Tommy, or they need help at dismissal, or, you know, whatever it is, those are driven by a lot of those interactions that we get from staff. And in fact, I've had several meetings with Monsieur Awono and Madame Auguste about ways that they'd love even more volunteer efforts, you know, in and around the school. It's just a matter of getting through some of the logistics about, okay, well, who needs this training and who can come during this time, and, you know, what is gonna be the best way to facilitate that. So those are sign-up lists or emails that you'll see popping up throughout the year. But, and we're also really welcome to suggestions in terms of things that you feel like you need as parents, in terms of support to help better navigate what it is to be a French immersion parent when your school is going, when your child is going to school in a language that you didn't necessarily grow up with. So I just wanted to share that. One of the things that I was hoping to share with you today, only this is not working. I wanted to share with you the academic resources section on the PTA website that we created. And that was in response to a lot of questions from parents about what websites can I go to, what books can they read, what videos will help them. I don't know how to pronounce French. So I worked with Monsieur Awano. I got a lot of information from Madame Lalou, one of our second grade teachers. I got some resources that I know Monsieur Guibert, a middle school French teacher, uses. There are a lot of sites that I have used as a French teacher. And so really combining all of those, categorizing them, creating the links, putting the descriptions of each site, or even the instructions if a site is completely in French, telling you, click on this, that, and this to get to the thing that you need without you being able to have to read the instructions in French. So that's something that I wanted to be able to show and present to you today, but it's all on our PTA website. So if you go on the website, there's a part that says academic resources, and you'll see the French resources. For middle school parents, there's a list of Russian resources. There are things there about helping your child with math. I have a link to lots of staff web pages in the building. And then, you know, a lot of our students are using Study Island, Big Ideas, Clever, things like that. And I remember that when my kids were younger and first starting to use those websites, I had them all bookmarked at home. But if they were doing their homework and we were away from home, like at the library, or they had to do it on an iPad somewhere, you know, I'm sure that happens for you guys. I say, oh my gosh, I don't know how to get back to the website. It's bookmarked at home. And so we spent several months, really trying to comprehensively collect all those sites for you. So if you're out and about, or your computer crashes, you're using another one, and your kid says, oh, my stuff is online, we've tried to work really hard with the staff to make it easy for you to be able to connect to the different websites you need across the different ages. So while I cannot show you that tonight, I will send out an email. Is everyone here on the main Dora? Okay, great. So I'll send out an email that kind of outlines, and with links in it, the different things that I really want you to take a look at that will hopefully help make your life a little bit easier. Another request I get from parents a lot is, I want more reading practice for my kid. You know, the library only has this many books, I only have this many books. There are a lot of kind of ebooks online or storytelling where you see a person reading the story, highlighting each word as it goes, where you can listen to it, the pictures might animate, you know, things that are really great to push reading along. All that is detailed really well for you on the website. So I'll send that out because that's a resource that, like I said, it took months to put together, and it's finally there and ready for you. So look out in the next day or two for that message. And when you have a moment, maybe over the weekend, and you can just click around and start to familiarize yourself with it, or with your child, so they can familiarize themselves with, oh, this is where I can go to get this and get that. My kids are really good about knowing where they need to go. And in fact, to put this list together, I had my kids of different ages sit down and show me where they need to go and how to get there and what to do, so that I could then, you know, try and re-explain it to you. So there's that. And if you look at that, if you have other suggestions, or you feel like, oh, this is all great, but I really want something that will help me with fill in the blank, let me know. And I will do my best to find that out and post it to the website so that you have a bigger arsenal of materials to work with. Okay. Any questions about that?
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you. I mean, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm happy to do it. It's a lot of French immersion years in the making. It kind of went into that. Okay, we're gonna move it right along. Takitha, yes, you. Okay, Takitha emailed me this great idea. She said, okay, well listen, it's cold outside. Can we do a coat drive? So I sent it around to the board, and they said, that's a great idea. So thank you. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I wanted to bring this up as an example of, you know, if you send us an idea, if it's feasible, we will try to do it. Some ideas we get, we find out they're really involved and they need all these layers of permission, and so that might have to sit on the back burner for a little while. But this is a great idea. It's really in line with, you know, the idea of service and volunteerism. So what we would like to do is in January, because I know with the holidays coming up, some people might get some new coats and new jackets or things like that. But after we come back from the break in January, we would love to do the coat drive and then, you know, collect them and donate them to a local charitable organization. So we support that. We'd love to work with you on that and be able to, you know, come up with all the details, make a sign-up list, the signup.com, and start to organize that. Let's see. I know another thing that I wanted to point out was I know that the procedure for picking up after school has changed a little bit. There have been emails or messages that have gone out with maps and things like that, and rider cards and stuff, and that's something that the administration has been working on, but they would really, really love to have more parent volunteers to help with that, because it can be a little bit of a zoo trying to make sure that the right kid gets with the right pickup person, and it could be, some people have, you know, maybe 5 or 7 people on their list. So there's a sign up created for that, and I'll send another email. But I just wanted to mention that if there's anyone who comes for pickup and you're not in a hurry right away, maybe you can stay for half an hour that day. You can just click on the sign up, oh yeah, I'll help with this day. And that's always really helpful. I know you see Mr. Held running back and forth, or, you know, Madame Bukabaga or Mr. Malone, and so they could really use a couple extra bodies to help, you know, coordinate, oh, so-and-so's mom, you know, and relaying back and forth. So we have had some parents come help with that, but not that many. So I'm asking, you know, with my loud voice, you know, again, I'll send the link out for if there's anybody who ever has a half an hour in the afternoon to pick up, it would make a huge difference. So,
Can I ask about?
Yes.
So he takes a bus, and I in the past was able to just come up to the front where they put all the kids in the gym. Has that procedure changed at all?
A little bit, in that you can't come inside the building. So I know a couple of things. Everybody who was with us in the old building a few years ago, there was a waiting spot where if you hadn't communicated ahead of time that you were going to pick up your kids, but stuff changes. You know, sometimes, you know, and it's too late. 3 o'clock is too late to try and coordinate with a teacher and the main office staff. If you could only see what goes on in the main office at 3 o'clock between trying to line up the buses and everything, it's too late. But there was a spot where you could go and just intercept them on the way to the bus and go. So this building is laid out logistically very differently from the old building. And there was previously where you could kind of come into the gym and grab your child. So what has happened over the last year or two is the safety procedures for the entire county are more strict, or they're being more strictly implemented than they have been before. And that's why they're much more strict about the, you know, signing in for visitation and what you can and can't do without your fingerprinting and things like that. So you cannot come in to intercept your child for the bus. And so what people have done is kind of be on the front porch to try and intercept the child on the way to the bus. But then that's chaotic as well. I'm just saying that I've seen it. It can be a little chaotic or a dismissal. It's kind of like the running of the bulls sometimes, where everybody's trying to get their bus, and we have over 24 buses that come, plus the vans and everything. So I actually did have a meeting last week with Monsieur Abono and Madame Auguste to discuss that very issue, to try and brainstorm ways that are going to really facilitate parents who stuff changes at the last minute, not for lack of planning, but it just does. And you have to get your child. How can you be able to do that in a way that's not overly confusing or frustrating, but also in a way that's not overly confusing or frustrating for the staff? So that is, I know that that's really important. It's important to me as a parent as well. And so that is something that we've been bouncing around and brainstorming. And I know that the day that we sat down and did that, it was also the same day they had a staff meeting. You know, so it's one of those things that's definitely in conversation. It's not forgotten about. But in terms of what are the final logistics of that in a way that's safe for everybody and won't cause too much, I guess, too many traffic blocks in the works. But as soon as that is finalized and I get that from the school, I'll put all of that information out to you. So, any other questions? Okay. Oh, yes. All right, so the emergency bag. So at the last PTA meeting, I know we talked about that every room in the school that, you know, has children in it is supposed to have an emergency bag, you know, that goes with an emergency plan, you know, that has flashlight, class roster, Band-Aids, gloves, things like that. The PTA also purchased some things after speaking with Nurse Tommy about stuff that would be helpful that the school didn't have, like instant ice packs. You know, they can go in there, but if it's an emergency, you have to go outside, you can just snap it and, you know, deal with those types of things. I've worked with Madame Auguste and to try and sort out what needs to be in there versus what was in there, and some things were really, really old, incredibly old, so a lot of things needed to be chucked and refreshed. So some of the bags are finished, but there are still a lot left. So I'd love to come up with a day to coordinate. I know Sue had mentioned before, it's a lot easier if it's something that can be done at an off-work hour. So if I can come up with an evening or something like that where we can just get, even if it's just 5 people in there in an assembly line, finishing those out, then the rest of the classrooms can be outfitted with that. So I'll create a sign up for that as well to finish that up. Any questions about that? All right, great. One of the last things that I'd like to talk about is we have our STEM fair coming up in January. So for anyone with a child in grades 5 through 8, you either are very familiar with this process or you're learning. This is your first year. But basically for STEM fair, the students who choose to do it, you're making a PowerPoint presentation instead of a poster board. Yes. Really glad I don't have to run out and buy the foam board and print all the everything. They can just throw it in there. That's wonderful. So I love that. The tricky part of that is we're a French-speaking school, so we need French-speaking judges to listen to the presentation. I did send out an email, but I also want to say if you know of anybody who speaks French, they don't have to be a scientist. They just have to speak French. Your neighbor, a coworker, that guy at the library you saw, I don't know, whoever it is, please let them know. Whatever judges that come in they do have to have done the background check because you'll be with kids. But we're in great need of that, and it makes a really big difference for the kids to be able to present their projects and explain it and answer questions about it in French. So like I said, I just also want to use my really loud voice and ask if you know anybody, send them our way. You can give them my email address or Dr. Mills, which I think when I forwarded his letter, his email address was in there. But that's a huge need that we have, and STEM Fair is taking place in January, like early to mid-January. Okay.
Wait, will they have an opportunity to get fingerprint, all that before then?
Yes.
Because I work with a lot of attachés, French. No, but
You're not promising, but you're just saying. Yeah.
so I can ask the question. Maybe I'll talk with you offline.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that would be great. And I can send you the web links and everything they need to do. Like the background check, even now, you can do it online. They have an online link that just makes it easy. It's just the fingerprinting that you have to be in person for, which is awesome because you used to have to go in person to get the background check. So, yeah, no, email me and I'll be happy to send you all that information.
On the same lines as what she just asked, are you guys, I know I talked to somebody, I want to say in September, regarding fingerprinting, because you guys had sent out that notice, like if you want to get fingerprinted, go over to Judith Hoyer and get fingerprinted.
Right, they were holding a fingerprinting
and so
fair.
I went and got my fingerprints and everything done, which they told me last up until my child was 18. I was just like, okay, so what happens if I commit a crime before then? I mean, do you still allow me around kids? They're like, oh yeah, well it's valid to your child's 18. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. So that whole thing is, that the fingerprinting thing is scary to me. I think that the county should mandate every 2 years. I mean, that $56 every 2 years is not a huge expense to make sure our children are safe. That's just my personal opinion as a parent of an 8-year-old. I still have 10 more years. But are we going to do something like that here so parents who want to get fingerprinted can just come here, you know, for 2 hours, you know, and go get their fingerprinting done here? Or if they want to just do the $7 one fair event, making it so much easier to get volunteers to either help out with the kids in the evening, or, you know, if you need to sign up. You know, I did it. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take off work because I want to volunteer, you know, and I'm at a new job, so I'm just like, I need to take off work. I gotta go get fingerprinted so I can volunteer at the school.
The answer is yes, and it's something that I need to light a fire under myself, but I have said that I would like to coordinate that because there are also other schools in the area.
We have, what, 25 people or something like that?
Yeah, you need a minimum of 25 people.
But I think that we would get that just with
If
the
we
school,
open it up
but-
to say parents of Greenbelt Middle School,
Yeah.
Spring Hill Lake, Greenbelt Elementary, Magnolia, you know, Roosevelt, we're all, I think between all those schools, then we could probably get 25 parents, you know,
I think we'll have
in one place.
a lot more than that.
Yeah. So Sue has generously offered
Yes.
to,
So you can like send me a nasty gram?
No. Also,
I'll do a free Instagram and light a fire under.
Yeah.
do we do text messaging? So, the other school, my Andrew, the PTSA does text messaging. So you sign up. So they send out
like
reminder,
text alerts.
PTA meeting
Like
is
the
tonight.
number one.
Yeah, so that you know, I'm just asking like, yeah, and they do that for PTSA needs volunteers for this. Click on this link to sign up.
got it. Okay, so the
There
text
was
alert.
one started last year that reminded me.
That
but
was
then it just
something,
stopped.
yeah, I don't know where, you know what? I will find out.
I think the person who set it up
There was
had
a
the username
security text
password, and they weren't with the PTA, they were helping out, and so then
Oh.
the account was under their name, I think.
Okay, so let me do this. Let me find out what was set up last year, because I don't know, but I'll find out. I know who to ask. And if that account is still active or not, and how it worked, and whether we need to do something completely from scratch. But let me get a sense. Would you like to get the text alerts from the PTA?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So
Would
we-
it just be for PTA members or for everybody? Because if I'm getting it from the Yahoo group and this, I mean, that's kind of, you know what I mean? Or is it just
Yeah.
gonna be the members?
I
It
would
would be
kind of,
just something you would sign up for.
yeah, let them sign
So
up.
if you don't
for-
want text messages, don't sign up for
Yeah.
it.
Make it completely optional, but I mean, even if we can do a flyer, if you guys need me to run off some copies after work, you know, since y'all don't, and so we can distribute to the parents. So parents who may not be in the PTSA, because they may not be able to come to meetings or, you know, pay for the meetings, or they just may not take an interest, may say, well, I want to know what's going on at the school.
Okay.
Still, so let me sign up. Guess what? We're having a fundraiser for this, or the school has said we need X, Y, and Z, just to back up, because I swear, getting calls every day from Prince George's County Public Schools, I swear I want to opt out of that. I just am afraid I'm going to miss something, you know. But so every time you want to opt out, I keep thinking, or, you know, or then when we get them from Dora Kennedy, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. Whereas if I look at a text message, I can look at it when I get a chance, and I just think it reaches everybody to get more of a broader audience, because I do know we don't do a lot of paper here. I haven't seen anything paper come home from the
Yeah, we
PTSA.
try to cut back a lot on paper. So the school itself is the one who does the robocalls.
Yeah.
So we don't do the
No,
robocalls.
I understand it.
Yeah, so we manage the list. It's interesting. We manage all the listservs. The school technically doesn't have a listserv, but we use the listserv as a communication branch for the school. In that it's like a marriage, you know. It's like a marriage. That's why, you know, you see a lot of information coming from me, and a lot of it's coming from the school.
Probably thanks to you, but I'm finding that this year the teachers are better about saying, hey, put this on the listserv.
Yes. So I want to thank the teachers. Because they really have been good about sending me information that, you know, they'll say, hey, can you send this to the 5th graders? Can you send this to the 1st graders? I happen to be able to send it to 4th, 6th, and 8th graders really easily, because those are my personal circles of where my children are, so that gives me a sense. But they've been really great about that. And then also stuff that's supposed to go on the general listserv. So a lot of times when you see information that I'm you'll see my name on it. Sometimes it's that I've done my investigative reporting, but a lot of times it's that they just started sending me emails. Can you put this, and this, because it's stuff that is a benefit to the parents, but that's one way, to get it out. But we wouldn't be able to do that as well if we didn't have the teachers who were taking the time to really try and make sure that they're reaching a lot of people with the communication. So that I appreciate that partnership. I really do. So as far as the text messaging thing, let me ask you this then. So right now you get the emails, and it's a lot. I know it is, but I think it's information that you want.
Yeah, everything I need is in my emails, which is fine.
So then, how do you feel, how do you envision that the types of things that go in the text message would better help parents understand what's going on, different from the emails? And I'm not saying that oppositionally, just to help me, flesh it out.
Totally
Yeah.
understandable. I think for those parents that are not necessarily able to come to PTSA member meetings, or they're not members, it allows them a broader access to what is going on with the school. Because
You can join the listserv without being a PTA member.
No, for the PTSA or for their individual.
And all the listservs are free.
Okay, so I don't even know if they do that, because I'm telling you, I use Gmail, and it was hard as, I don't know what, trying to do the Yahoo thing, because my ex-husband was saying that, he said, I did the listservs. I said, yeah, I did it like 3-4 times, and I finally got it. You've been confirmed. I said, so I didn't know if I was doing it wrong or whatever. I think because I didn't set up a separate Yahoo, I did find it more difficult doing it through
I've had the
listserv.
same experience.
Yes, so as a Gmail user.
My husband had it.
So that listserv is not very user-friendly. I think the text messaging system will say, okay, well, I could join it. That frustrated me. I just want to get text messages. The schools are having fun. Like, in the beginning of the year, the fundraiser. Nothing ever came home. I never got anything home. So I was just like, well, it must not be important because I didn't get a package home. But that's a great way of keeping in touch. Parents, packages were sent home for fundraisers. Please check with your kids to get those kind of things benefit the school, and that's everyone participating regardless of whether you're a PTSA member. And a lot of people honestly don't like a lot of emails, especially if they get a huge amount of emails a day. They may just say, I don't want emails. Text messages are easier to get. I can control who sends me text messages. And then with the text message serve, you can opt out at any time. You can cancel any time. I'm tired of from the PTSA or.
One of the things that we talked about that we want to do when the school year comes to an end is migrate all the listservs to Google Groups.
Okay.
From the Yahoo. We feel you.
Because that was, he said he couldn't get, he's like, I tried 3 times.
Right there.
I said, I did it like 4. So if you, as a Gmail user, and he is a Hotmail user, and unless you're Yahoo, it's probably more difficult to get on the listserv. So you're losing a lot of people who may not necessarily be on the listserv. They may hear about it from other parents.
I'm wondering if we should wait until the end of the school year, or if we should
migrate
just
in the middle
go
of the
ahead
school
and
year?
do it. Do people have an
I'm
opinion?
okay with the end of the year.
I participate, so another listserv that I am on, CPRC.
Yeah.
When we migrated from Yahoo to Google.
Yeah, I remember.
It took months of work, and it was only 300 people.
Wow.
I mean,
So
it
maybe
is
we can start now.
Let me talk to you afterward about why, because I moderate a lot of the
Like,
listservs.
I wasn't the webmaster when we did that,
Okay.
but I know that it's a lot of work.
So maybe it is something.
And we have 10
Rather than
listservs
migrating,
that we,
but
because
one
each
thing
class
to ask
was
people to re-sign, like, just maybe we close out one and have people sign up again in another, whether they're migrating.
Well, because you can manually add people, so you don't have to necessarily add,
Yeah.
so, yeah. Anyway,
I
we'll
mean,
talk
but
afterward.
doing that, like, it was a challenge.
that's a project. Yeah, that's why we were talking about trying to phase it in for as the school year's ending.
Yeah.
And then, you got all the summer and stuff.
Yeah, I'm just, more communication mediums
Yeah.
help. And like I said, I mean, I got the agenda today and I was like, oh gosh, the PTSA meeting, let me go put it on my calendar so it'll pop up on my cell phone and remind me I have the PTSA meeting to go to tonight. But a text message alert, reminder parents, PTSA meeting at 7 p.m. Okay, you know what? I need to be there. You keep reminding me.
You can copy our calendar onto your Gmail account calendar.
The calendar for where? On the Yahoo list?
No, the one on
our website.
On our website.
If you go to our website, there's a thing, calendar, and you click on that, and it has our calendar that we have on our website has merged the county important dates plus the school important dates plus the that's what I'm saying. The web.
Yes.
We should have a meeting just the website. Because there's a lot of work that went in that. You can look in one spot and know what the county's doing, what this school is doing, and what the PTA is doing.
And whether or not it's A or B day.
Yes, and whether or not it's A or B day. All that stuff. So you can actually sync with that one.
Yeah.
And just have all those dates automatically populate in your Gmail calendar.
Yes.
Okay. I can do that, yeah.
So, so I guess we should put a separate thing about that. Okay. Any last questions? I'm so excited. It's before 8:30 and it seems like we're at the end of the meeting. So I don't want to ruin a good thing. But I thank you. Thank you for shopping. Thank you for bearing with us and using your imagination since we don't have a screen today. But I do want to, open it up for any last and final questions before we close out the meeting.
I don't have any questions. I just want to say thank you, Halima. I'm a new parent here. I went to my son attended by Angelou, and then I moved from the south side of the county up to the north side. So he attends 3rd grade here, and I met Halima on the very first day of school, and I have emailed. She gave her contact information. I email her all the time. Halima, I have a question. I paid $7 for a shirt for field trips, and I see no field trips. And my son's teacher is still on admin leave. What's going to happen with that shirt? I don't want to waste money. And so she found out and came and said that shirt will follow him through the 3rd grade through 8th, so you don't have to keep buying new shirts until he grows out, obviously. But she was like, just check with the teachers. Yeah, she said check with the teachers. I know he has a sub, so I really appreciate that because that has been the consistency of why I haven't pulled out my hair with all the changes at the school. But I do like the principal and the vice principal. I think they are very, interested in my concerns or questions, and even with Ms. Bukavara, who's been phenomenal, because I email her like once a week, like, yeah, grades haven't been updated, I'm questioning this grade, that grade, but I would like the teachers to be able to, I want them to integrate more timely. I have had some issues with that, and I'm trying not to go above their heads, because I feel like if I mention it, that should be enough for you to say, let me integrate it, even if you're doing it every 2 weeks, but 2nd quarter is almost over. In one of my son's classes, he has had no grades for this quarter entered. And so that's against the county policy. And I'm like, you don't even give me an opportunity to correct something, and that's problematic. So I would protest any grade less than a B because you didn't give me the proper notice. And, and so then it gets into that, and I look crazy, like a crazy parent. But as someone who is really on her son, making sure he's doing his part, I need them to do their part. And so that would be my only concern. But I know that if I tell Mr. Owada, he'll probably do something, but try to you can spread the message like teachers, please make sure you're entering grades timely. People shouldn't have to wait 4 weeks for a grade to show up. So that would be my only concern. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
One last
Oh,
question.
yeah.
So I asked the question about uniforms possibly last month, and if we wanted to bring that subject back up to vote for possibly next year, well, how long would it take? I mean, would we have to vote early now and it could be integrated into next school year, or is it a longer process than that to implement a uniform policy if the majority voted for uniforms? I mean, is it like we could start next year if by the end of this year, everybody voted in favor of them?
I would, as far as the length of the time of the process, let me ask the administration, because I personally don't know. I do know how it happened last time that the subject was brought up. So when we were in the old building a few years back, there were parents who brought up the question of uniform. And it had been brought up many, many years before that, but, and the way that it was handled was there was a survey that was put out to the parents, and then, they said, okay, do you want uniforms, or do you want to continue with free dress, and then there's just the county dress code, like you can't come, half naked to school, but, And so that's how that was done in terms of figuring out whether there should be a further step after that. And so a few years ago when the survey was done to parents, there were more parents who did not want the uniform than did. And so then that's where it ended. Yeah, exactly, because that was the popular vote, you know, as it will. So as far as if it were to have been voted the other way, the steps that are taken and how long that takes, I don't know the answer to, because it didn't go that way.
Right.
But that is definitely something I can ask the administration as far as what, given two scenarios,
Yes.
what are the different pathways that those two scenarios could go? Yeah, but that's how it was done before. I also need to double check because county policies evolve over time, is there something different that has changed between last time and this time?
Okay.
So, give me some weeks to track that down,
No
just
problem.
because
I'll be here in January.
We're learning as we go.
Yes.
I often get questions. I'm like, you know what? I have no idea, but I'll find out.
Okay.
So, yeah, give me some.
Because I would like
little
to
bit of time to track that
get
down.
that survey out there.
Mhm.
If they say you need to have an answer by March in order to implement it. if
I
the
see what you mean.
by
If there's a time cutoff.
next school year, yes.
Okay.
So, okay.
Okay. Awesome. Anybody else? Okay, listen, so thank you for coming. I call this meeting to an end. It's adjourned. Thank you.